All right. Hello, hello world. Welcome to today's stream. Uh, this is militan.com, and I am your humble host, Tony. Yesterday, I did promise that we'll be doing something on the Commonwealth today, and true to fact, we are doing something on Commonwealth. If you see our thumbnail, it says what's so common about the Commonwealth. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's stream. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. We are begging. Subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon to get our videos and our notice of our stream every day. Share this video, and together we can build a world that we can be proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, I like to explain from a layman language what the Commonwealth is. Like you see on our video, we already pinned this comment there, that the Commonwealth of Nations, for all its pious talk, has been a consuming ground for third world nations, an association that strives to retain the dead glory of the British Empire. Now, you can disagree, and please, if you do disagree and you do not agree with our supposition and our submission, please let us know. Drop your comment and we can talk about those things. Do not forget that this is our world. It belongs to you and I. The Commonwealth basically is an association that brings together two unique factions, and that is some, let's say, 90% or 98% of the countries that were colonized by Britain. That's plenty of them. And Britain herself. Now, when the cry for slavery and decolonization was at its highest, now the British government knew they could no longer sustain it, owning colonies and countries outside their British earth, the ground. And so, they came up with this very wonderful and mathematically calculated supposition that we could still hold colonies abroad, indirectly. We could still influence decisions and policies through what we've already have as colonial masters. And so the Commonwealth was born, and it's been like that. Now, I'm going to read out all the countries that belong to the Commonwealth. I think there are about 54. All of them are former colonies, and these countries also suffered firsthand from the evil of slavery. And today, it is Kumbaya. They are all of them together with the British government. The one you can see them there on the screen, head of nations of the Commonwealth, all of them on suits, all of them on tie. Now I'm going to first of all, wait, let me quickly say some certain things about the Commonwealth. What makes it a they try to harp so much on equal rights of all nations. Do not forget that there are a whole lot of highland countries there. Among them, very many of them, I think about 34 or so nations that are actually island countries whose population are in between 1 to 1.5 million. But then also there are also some very large nations, countries like India, which happens to be the second largest nation on earth, and then Nigeria, which also happens to be the most populous black nation on earth, and also the country of yours. Sincerely, I'm a Nigerian. So let's not forget that little point. And I'm streaming right now from the Federal Capital Territory in Nigeria. So please do join me, subscribe to this channel, and together let us build a nation, a world that we can be proud of. Let's go back to our topic, the Commonwealth. And part of all the activities of the Commonwealth, I think one of the most popular, it's not even the meeting of the head of nations, it's the Commonwealth Games, where a lot of member states present athletes to compete. And Canada is seen as one of the big giants of the Commonwealth Games. I can't forget their exploits in the last Commonwealth. Kudos to you, Canada. That was great. And then you have India, that was seen as the jewel on the neck of the Queen of England. I think Benjamin Disraeli, the Prime Minister during the reign of Queen Victoria, actually made that happen. That is great. Now, the passing of Elizabeth II brought a whole lot of things to the fore. And if you put it side by side with the Commonwealth of Nations, there definitely will be two kind of sensation. In the English side, there will be a feeling or a sense of loss, a loss of an empire. I mean, the British government, the British Empire was so vast, was glorious. I mean, at the time, they were even in China. You understand? At the time, they were in China, all over the Middle East, in Africa. More than half Africa was actually part of the Commonwealth, the British Empire, and today they are also part of the Commonwealth. So you see that it was huge. So the passage of Queen Elizabeth brought a whole lot of feelings and nostalgic feelings on the part of the British. An empire lost, what it means to be a Briton during the reign of Queen Elizabeth. Now let's not forget that most of this empire were actually captured during the very long reign of Queen Elizabeth. You know, she was there for 50 or so, 50 plus years as Queen of England, and actually saw Britain through its epoch. One of the highest point they've gotten to as a nation. That is basically colonizing the whole, or let's say half the world now. So you see that it was a big loss on the side of the Britain. But then on another divide, former colonies like Africa, Oceania, you see the Americas, the Caribbean, and a whole lot of other colonies, those who were the receiving end of brutal slavery and colonization. So you see that it was a two side of the coin. I can't forget that professor, the United States professor who actually lashed out at the memory of the Queen of England, and then there was this outcry against her, that why would you say that against the Queen of England? But then that those who pass out excreta may forget, because basically they just pass out their excreta. Now, those are the receiving end of the smell of that excreta cannot forget. It is a normal thing in life. And so they ought to understand. And so when the outcry was there, a whole lot of people like me, we are like, man, do you people forget actually what this was all about? You know, how our fathers were ferried across great ocean, brought into slavery, abused, you know, dehumanized, you know, in British plantations. And now you want us to forget. And maybe probably you just want to wish it away. I was on Quora the other day, and I went through some topics like this, and there was this British guy who felt, no, nobody should talk. British did the best thing for the world. So, and that is why I came about this topic. What really is the Commonwealth? So, we are going to take it step by step. Now, first of all, I like to read out all the countries that are part of the Commonwealth as we know it today. In Africa, I'm just going to bring up their flags so that you can see their flags, as maybe I call their names. I did a reel of all the flags, as we always do on this channel. Whenever we're talking, you see their flags are scrolling. So in case your country, but please, in case your country is not mentioned, please, it was just an oversight. I'm going to reel out some of the names of the countries. There are about 54 gathering of great countries who basically, the only thing I feel, the only thing that brings these people together is their cultural link, which basically these countries, they are all Anglophones and they speak English. But for me, one of the unspoken link that bring these nations together is they were once colonies. They were once a sourcing ground for slaves. They were once a punching bag of the British Empire. Now let's not forget that, because people actually went through sordid times, and our fathers went through all this. So let's not try to wish it away. It was there, it happened. So ladies and gentlemen, they have a wonderful Canada. As Canada, I think this should be Ghana. Well, the flags are not showing so well. I think they are too wide on the screen, but I'm just going to read them out so that we can see them. But please don't just pass by and you're scrolling past. Please, we beg, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, like the video, and together we can grow. This channel really needs to grow. So in Africa, we had some very wonderful countries. We had Botswana, we had Cameroon, we have Gabon, we have Gambia, we have Ghana, we have Kenya, the Kingdom of Swatini. Kingdom of Swatini, I can't forget that, former Swaziland. Where former Swaziland, I like their girls. I mean, there is this very wonderful festival that is being done there, where the beauty of African women is shown. Now, but the most wonderful thing I like about this country is where you can just choose, you know, just choose. You don't have to go through those long details of asking out. You just choose, and that's wonderful. So the Kingdom of Swatini, we have Lesotho, we have Malawi, we have Mauritius, we have Mozambique, we have Namibia, and we have Nigeria, where I am doing this stream from. That is, I think, South Africa. South Africa or Jamaica, South African flag, and we have Rwanda, we have Seychelles, a wonderful country. You need to be there. Lots of tourist attraction. You need to be, honestly, Seychelles is one country that if you have one country you must visit in this your life, it should be Seychelles. It's wonderful, a beautiful country. You see what purposeful government. Uganda, we have Tanzania, and we have Zambia. Yes, about 20 something countries from Africa, and that's huge. Then we go to Asia. Now in Asia we have a very wonderful country for tourist attractions and destinations. We have and then in the Caribbean and Americas we have Antigua and Barbuda. We have the Bahamas. Wow, the Bahamas. I have to call that country twice, and with much respect. The country is a source of joy. I mean, when you visit the Maldives and then you come back, in fact, you have a reason to thank God for making so very many beautiful things in the world. Beautiful blue crystal looking streams, waters everywhere. So the Maldives is good. You should pay it a visit. Pay her a visit. She's cool. And then we have Singapore. Singapore, another very good country where basically they have a very good economy. Purposeful government. I like purposeful government. And we have Sri Lanka, and please, I'm sorry. So now one of the most populous black nation, or you will see, that at least 2 is a Nigerian. And there is this thing we say in Nigeria: whatever country you travel to and you don't or can't find a Nigerian, please leave. It is not a good place, because Nigerians are everywhere in the world. So let's continue. We jump over to the Pacific. Now in the Pacific we have Australia, we have the Fiji, we have Kiribati, we have Nauru, we have New Zealand, and I love New Zealand. I mean, to see their PM, very pretty and sexy lady, but also very intelligent. And that country is good, strong economy, beautiful landscape, and a very robust history. And we have Papua New Guinea, we have Samoa. I can't forget Samoa. If you've seen the movie Bob, and the Fast and Furious, I think one of the episode was shot in Samoa, and then we actually saw Dwayne Johnson. I don't know if that is his country. Dwayne Johnson was actually speaking Samoa, and it was beautiful to see. And then I also saw the other wrestler was also part of it. And I'm going to research after the stream if these guys are actually from Samoa. Now, in case you are for Seth, Seth is from Samoa. Please let us know before the end of the stream. I saw both of them on that movie speaking Samoa. So we have the Solomon Island, we have Tonga, we have Tuvalu, and Vanuatu. Now we have these countries, about 54 or 56 countries coming together to form the Commonwealth. the Commonwealth. Now, that's wonderful. And I think for the smaller countries, like the island countries, a whole lot of them, some below 1.5 million, they see the Commonwealth as a springboard. They see that as a springboard. We're going to be saying a couple of things about the Commonwealth here as we move on. But do not forget to subscribe to this channel. We are begging, help us grow. We need a subscription. We need a watch hour to actually grow as a channel. Now, let's go into the details. Now, what is actually the Commonwealth in the 21st century? Can we equate the Commonwealth with organizations like the United Nations, like NATO, like the BRIC? Can we? Honestly, please, if you're listening to this stream, please drop your comment. Can we equate the Commonwealth in terms of how its need of nations in the 21st century is defense? We are seeing it play out in the aggression of Russia against Ukraine. We are seeing it. So you see, can we really equate the Commonwealth? My answer is a big N and a small hole. No, you cannot equate it. The Commonwealth itself is being undone by the UK itself. Now we're going to be going into it gradually. Now, the first thing is this. The Commonwealth came about as a result of the independence of India. They didn't want to lose India. India is large and humongous, a nation of 2-point-something billion people. So they didn't want to lose India, and so they came about with this contraption called Commonwealth to hold on stylishly to the nation they already have. So you see, it is year in, year out, governments gather to celebrate what I really don't understand. So what are the facts about countries in the Commonwealth? Plus, a whole lot of them is from Africa. Now, Asia and the Americas, Europe and the Pacific. Now, 33 of the 42 world's small states are Commonwealth members. That's 33 of the 42 of world's maybe highland nations, small states. Do not forget that a country like Iceland is just a little bit above 300,000 people, but they are a nation. So 33 of these nations are part of the Commonwealth nations, each with a population of 1.5 million or less. Now, the total population of and 60% of them are below the ages 29, and that means it's a give or take, it's a very young population, and that means if this population really buy into the ideas of the Commonwealth, we are going to be seeing a Commonwealth that will grow over time. So, but then what are the downsides? That is what we are going to just be talking about. I'm going to read some opinions that we copied from Google. Now this guy says, in practice, the Commonwealth is ineffectual, indecisive, dithering for years about imposing even symbolic sanctions upon Nigeria in the 1990s when it was under a corrupt and brutal military dictatorship. I remember, because it's my country, that dictatorship was a dictatorship of General Sani Abacha. It also has no means of ensuring that member states lives up to the principles in the 1970s. Now, I think Zimbabwe was actually suspended from the Commonwealth of Nations. They are no longer part of it. Now this guy says the Commonwealth is a pointless legacy of the British Empire, which serves to bolster British sense of importance in the world. Now I agree with this point. It is pointless. You bought us as slaves. You've raped us and took away all our mineral resources, and our artifacts are still in your museums. You refuse to repatriate a whole lot of them. There have been no reparations. What I don't know if there is any country that the British has actually given reparation as a result of the very bloody slave trade that they did in Africa, in Europe, in Oceania, in the Americas. I don't know. I know that in Africa there are none. Maybe from time to time they do repatriate some artifacts, but beyond that I have not seen. So I agree with it. It is just a way to bring back the British hegemony, and so because it is this world we have, we don't have another one. I know there has been somewhere discovered in the moon where it's habitable for humans, but let's get it straight. If this world is not good for us, how are we so sure that place they've discovered in the moon can actually take 7-point-something billion people? So we must make this world a better place for all of us to live in. So you see, you have not said you are sorry. You have not returned back what you took from our fathers, and yet you are gathering of the same people that you're supposed to be saying sorry to yet again project your power and your strength. So you see, that means basically you are not even sorry about it. I mean, given the opportunity, you will do the same yet again. So that's my point. So all those who said, oh, come on, Commonwealth of Nations is okay for the 21st century, I tell them, no, a big N and a small hole. So you see, monarchy is gradually fading in any other thing that actually projects them as a superpower. Not in military, not in finance, not in economy, no, nothing. But they still want to be there. They still want to be there. They enjoyed and reeled in the fact that they enslaved at least a quarter of the world at a time. Man, who wouldn't? If you can do something and get away with it, why wouldn't you? So, it is simply pointless. Even the legacy, it doesn't make any sense. So, it serves to better bolster Britain's sense of importance as a role in the modern world. Yet, the British Empire was founded on colonial aggression. That is the point. It was founded on colonial aggression. It enslaved more than half the world. Was an active participant in the slave trade, taking people, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, aunties, husbands, uncles and aunties from Africa. Some died in the sea, some died in the way, and today the same. In fact, I am going to do something about African leaders. They seem to be like slaves who love their chains. I mean, How do you do that? Are people who actually enslaved you, who raped you, dehumanized your fathers and their memory, you still gather with them, and they are still the head. And this is like neo-colonialism. Now, these should be repudiated. I mean, we can form any other association. Africa can belong to any other association where Britain is the head, but it is not because we are linked, because we were a colony under Britain. We can actually become to any association with Britain. Yes, of course. Yeah, why? I mean, the essence of humanity is for relationship. I mean, interrelations and relationship. Man come together with man to make things happen. Yes, we can, but not on the basis of former masters and former slaves. So, this should be repudiated. It should not be encouraged. And so that is why a whole lot of people basically don't see the need for a commonwealth of nations. So rather than celebrate it in a diluted form, because it's been celebrated. I mean, all the evil that the British government fomented on the world is being celebrated on a diluted form in the guise of a commonwealth. Now, somebody will tell you, oh, the nations are free, what is called pressure in the world. Some people say, oh, some nations who were never slaves, I think about 2 nations who were never former slaves, actually volunteered to be part of the the Commonwealth. Yes, they do. I'll look for their names and then I'll tell you before the end of the stream. But continuing of the only thing that the Commonwealth provide is a cultural Anglocentric, which is backward and retrogressive. This is the only thing that binds these nations together. The fact that they speak the British English, that the language that they have, the language of their fathers, has actually been eroded by English. And so what brings them together is former slaves who were given John, Thomas, and whatever, now gather to identify with their former masters who actually enslaved them. Now, what an irony. So, you see, because there is an adage in my language in Nigeria that says the junction where former slaves and former slave owner meet is not always comfortable. But in this case, man, it's like a jamboree for African leaders. I mean, I think after every Commonwealth meeting of Commonwealth head of government, they are already dreaming of another one. Now, the Commonwealth has no clear role. It confers no trade privileges. Now, I am going to come to this upon its members. Does not coordinate their defense or foreign policy, and lacks both the budget and the executive authority to make a practical difference in the world. Periodic meetings of Commonwealth heads of government are at best and at worst an expensive junket. It would be far better for its members to commit their attention and goodwill to more meaningful international organizations like the NATO or the United Nations. So you see what I have said before, it is pointless. But then it is not pointless on the part of the UK. I would say because the UK seems to has to look for where to get about 7-point-something million naira. And that's crazy. And we say we are in the same association. I mean, they are looking for doctors, they come here. They are looking for teachers, they come here. They are looking for laborers, they come here. What happened to your citizens? Then it is funny. And then when a Nigerian builds a plane, oh, it is good, Nigeria is wonderful. When a Nigerian builds a plane, when a Nigerian steals, Nigerians want to be deported. So much insult, so much aggression. It is like slave trade reinvented. So you see that basically it is not that it does not confer year in, year out. So you look around Africa. Now, I'm going to be reeling out some very surprising statistics here that was very shocking when I was going through it. It was very shocking, and I'm going to reel it out. But let me continue with the points I'm trying to make. The Commonwealth professes high ideals, but fails to live up to them, despite the pious word of the Harare Declaration. Many Commonwealth are dictatorship or have poor human rights records, and the Commonwealth provides their leaders with a fig leaf of international respectability. Now, I can count a whole lot of them here. Them out of Togo, or can count a whole lot of leadership. The president of Cameroon, who's been there for almost 30 something years, and the British government gives them cover. So that means it is just to shroud their main intentions, that they are holding Africans in subjugation via the weak leadership they always support. So you understand that they are not there to make a change. It is not necessary. It is not important. So the Commonwealth is a sham, as its members always pursue their own self-interest when it conflicts with Commonwealth solidarity. Britain's involvement in the EU has resulted in the removal of preferential trading terms from many Commonwealth members, and it supports a fortress of European Commonwealth solidarity, e.g., is Britain's refusal to sanction South Africa in the 1980s. That is a very common example, and it's a shame today to know that at the time, the British government actually supported apartheid in South Africa. It's a shame. It isn't even a shame. I think it's a shame to African leaders. It is a slap on their face, on the face of their fathers. And I ask, what was all the suffering for, if at the end of the day your children will dine with your oppressors? What was all the suffering for? So you begin to see that today there's just no point. When they tell you that, oh, Britain gives Africa X billion in terms of AIDS, but then you see, look around other countries of Commonwealth, you'll find that the British government uses the puppet government they have there to ensure tax cuts and waivers for their companies in such a way that the British companies or their allies controls a land space in the Commonwealth space that is 4 times the land in Britain. I mean, they control, British company control 1 point something trillion dollars, as against about the $30 billion that Africa gets in aid. When you see how much they get from Nigeria alone on education alone, I mean, all UK institutions are simply exploitative. And then we say we are in Commonwealth. And that is why I am asking, what is so common about the Commonwealth? So let's do this stream again. What is common about the Commonwealth? Let us know in the comment section. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and together we can build with a very scintillating topic. We are doing something on African leaders tomorrow. I mean, we Africans, we are like slaves that loves their chains. In fact, I call Africans slaves that love their chains, and that is why we are talking about even francophone countries. You need to go and see what's happening with the we are talking about Anglophone countries. You take your time to look through the Francophone countries and you will weep for Africa. And this is the picture on the photograph is the the meeting of all the Commonwealth head of governments,